one in Uganda, where on the that is yesterday. Yesterday at about yesterday in the morning, we received information of a murder by mob, and it is alleged that at about 3 suspected thieves were arrested by the community, and the public beat up one. We have not yet identified the person, but they were found with a suspected stolen TV. And the two who are yet also to be identified were also beat up, but are currently receiving treatment in hospital. We believe that it's from these people who are injured, the two suspects receiving treatment in Mulago, that we shall get the identities of the one who was killed. There is also a murder in the same area, rather in Naguru, murder by mob that happened. It is alleged that Otim Charles and one of his colleagues, who is still on the run, while escorting both guards of G4S Security Company, while escorting cash from one point, that is from Luvowa to Nakasero. Along the way, abandoned the vehicle, their two guns, and the vehicle, and fled with cash. An investigation started right away with the aim of recovering the cash and also arresting the suspects, and so far we managed to recover 117 million with Team Charles. We shall be giving you more details since this is still an open investigation, and all efforts are on to have the other colleague of his also arrested. Now, this is something that we have not quite seen recently, where security guards, given the responsibility of guarding cash or transiting it from one point to another, have connived and stolen the money. The incident happened on the 19th, and investigations are on, and we shall avail you more details as it becomes available. There is also a drowning. There's a gentleman whom we believe was allegedly drunk, called the Naguru Juma. This is a herdsman. I think after having a nice time on the 18th, he decided he should go for a dive in River Mayanja, in the areas of Kasengeje, Wakiso. Now, his colleagues say that he had been previously seen in a bar drinking, and it is unfortunate that the same person decided to go for a swim in a river. Unfortunately, he drowned, and the police and the community managed to retrieve the body, which was later on taken to City Mortuary Mulago. So we come out appealing to members of the public to desist such practices. It is never safe for anyone to swim in a river, and if it is done, of course, you're putting your life at risk. We shall not police people swimming in rivers. Just know you'll be putting your life at risk if you do it. Uganda. waliwo ettemu lyetunoonyerezaako ery'omuntu atannategeerekeka nga no lyabadde ku kyalo ky'egganda mu Nansana wano e Wakiso, nga poliisi yaffe yaddukiridde oluvannyuma lw'okuwulira okufuna amawulire nti waliwo abatuuze abakakkanya ku muntu gwe bateebereza okuba omubbi, oluvannyuma lw'omusanga ne banne babiri ne TV eteebereza okuba nti nno nzibe. Baasobodde okubakuba naye omu ku bbo atannategeerekeka ye yafudde. Bano abalala mbeera gye balimu mbi. Kunoonyerezako kutandise naye nga tuvumirira ebikolwa bino eby'okutwalira amateeka mu ngalo, era tukubiriza abantu okukwatagana ne poliisi okuba nti nno tunoonyereza ku nsonga ezo. Bino byabadde olunaku lwajjo, era tujja bba tubabuulira wanaaba waliwo ekipya ekizuuse ku nsonga eyo. Mu ngeri y'emu era ng'ennaku z'omwezi 18 nabweru, poliisi yaffe yeebule nga yadduukirira omuntu eyali akubibwa era nga naye yali ateebereza okuba nti nno mubbi. Ekyomukisa omubi ono yamala n'afa, era okunoonyereza ku nsonga y'emu kwatandika, nako tujja bba tubabuulira ebisingawo. Poliisi yaffe ey'oluli Kampala erina omwami Tim Charles agambibwa okuba nti ng'ennaku z'omwezi 19 ennaku z'omwezi 19 bano bwe baaweebwa obuvunaanyizibwa obw'okutambuza ssente ne munne abakola mu kampani ya G4S, emmotoka eno baaginyagulula, bamala oginyagulula ne bagireka, era okunoonyereza kwatandikirawo mpaka bwe twakuttewo Tim Charles ne miliyoni 117. Tukyagenda mu maaso ne kaweefube okunoonya munne gwe yadduka naye gwe baanyagulula awamu emmotoka eno, era tujja bba tubabuulira ebisingako wanaaba waliwo ekipya. Twagala okubategeeza nti emisango nga gino tetutera gifuna, era tukubiriza na security company naddala ezidiiringa mu kutambuza ssente okubeera abeegendereza nga bapangisa abantu oba okuwa emirimu abantu bano be bakolagana nabo, okubafunako ebibakwatako mu mbeera ey'okugezaako okutangira oba wekiba kibaddewo poliisi esobola okubiyingiramu n'ebakwata mangu. Waliwo omwami omu abatuuze gwe bagamba nti yabadde mutamiivu, ng'ono abadde akola ng'omulunzi w'ente, Ngalu Juma, agambibwa okuba nti nno ennaku z'omwezi 18 oluvannyuma lw'okuva mu bbaala okusinga ku banne, yasalawo okuba nti nno agenda mu nnyanja ya River Mayanja mu kitundu eky'e Kasengejje okubaako nti nno awuga. Tuvumirira ebikolwa bino, abantu okutabiira ate ne baagala okugenda mu bifo nga bino eby'obulabe okuba nti nno bawuga mu mazzi, era bwe yagwa mu mazzi teyasobola kuvaayo n'afa. Abatuuze beekolamu omulimu ne poliisi ne basobola okuba nti ne baggyamu omulambo guno, era nagwo gwatwalibwa mu ggwanika e Mulago. Twagala obbategeeza tetugenda kubeera mu bifo bino, naddala ennyanja oba mpozi ennyanja waliwo poliisi ebeera ku mazzi, naddala emigga tetutera beerako na poliisi eyinza tuyamba ku poliisi nga migga oba bagikozesa batya. So bw'ogwamu nga tomanyi kuwuga, obulamu bwo oba obutadde mu matigga, kuba teri n'omu ayinza kuddukirira ssaawa ezo kuba nti naakuyamba. Ate n'ekirala tekikkirizibwa kuba nti nno okuwugira mu mugga guba gutambula, ebiseera ebisinga guba gukusinga amaanyi. Ate n'ennyanja nazo waliwo emitendera gye mulina oyita, oba waliwo ekikomo ky'olina okukomako ng'osazeemu obuwugiramu. So tusaba abantu okusigala nga beegendereza, obutagenda mu mazzi nga batamidde, n'okulaba nti nno tebatandika kuwugira migga kubeera gijja vaako akabi nga kano. Yeah, I think that's it. The registration number of the vehicle is UAJ199T, a box body for G4S Security Company. The incident happened in Nabunya, in Rubaga Division. Emmotoka egambibwa okuba nti nno yabbibwa mu ssente eri namba UAJ 1099T box body era nga ya G4S Security Company nga bino byali Nabunya mu Rubaga Division. N'emmundu zaazuulibwa era poliisi yeziina ng'ebizibu. Mundu bbiri. Yes. Well, siyinza kukakasa kya poliisi kugenda mu maka ge, naye kyenyinza okukakasa nti emisango weegiri naddala poliisi yaffe ey'Ebweyogerere egisukka mu 10 abantu ab'enjawulo balumiriza kubanga bayita mu bayambi be baawa amaanyi kuba abamu bali bweru ekyo tuyita powers of attorney okubajamba okuggulawo emisango wano ku mukyalo oyo. Njabba nyongera okubuuliriza ku nsonga eyo okumanya oba waliyo poliisi endala eziyina emisango egyo, naye nga kyenkakasa nti poliisi yaffe ey'Ebweyogerere erina emisango egiwerako egisukka mu 10 ku mukyalo oyo. Well, what I cannot confirm whether the police was at the premises because I'm not privy to that information, was at her home. But what I can confirm is that our police at Bweyogerere has registered several cases, more than 10, against the alleged Mama Kaduka. So efforts are on to trace for her. I'm yet to confirm with the different other police stations within Kampala Metropolitan on whether they also have cases against her, and we shall avail you more details. But also, to the people out there, why would you trust someone you don't know with the money and you're not in the country? Really, namwe musikiriza okubabba. Mulekerawo kuteeka abantu bano mu mbeera ey'okubeera nga bababba buli ssaawa. Kuba oli bweru, toli mu ggwanga ate osindikira omuntu ssente mbu akugulirewo bizinesi. Bw'otamanyi nga n'ab'eŋŋanda bo baakulema okwesiga kati oneesiga ono omuntu gw'otamanyi. So ebintu ng'ebyo tubirekera awo. Mawulire ge tufuna mbu yadduse mu ggwanga naye ekyo kyakakasibwa ne immigration. Mu kunoonyereza kwe tuliko tujja bba tubategeeza oba mwali oba taliimu. Sina kyemmanyi, sina information saawa yonna kati. Okujjako bye nabawa luli. Oluddala ombuulirako nga sinnajja wano nkunoonyeza. Of the money. The money that was stolen altogether, Ugandan shillings, is 1,069,420,000. Billion emitwalo 69, rather bobukadde 69, 42. It is 1/069/420/000. Then in US dollars, the US dollars that were stolen, we have $14,474. Umunya binansanvu munya. So that's the money, and so far we have only recovered what I told you. So we shall avail you more details. Yes.
Good morning to you colleagues from the media. Good morning colleagues from the media and all our audiences. My name is Jennifer Kalule Musamba. I'm the chair of the Uganda National Examinations Board, and I bring you greetings from our executive director, Mr. Dan Nokrachodong. From the board, we would like to report that 3 out of the 4 examinations have been successfully completed, and we're talking about the primary leaving examination, and then the UC examination for the new lower secondary school curriculum, as well as the UC examination for the old curriculum, which was dubbed transitional examination. For USCE, the candidates continue to write their low entry examinations, and last week the high entry papers were completed. So for the remaining 2 weeks, we are going to have mainly the electives, but also the low entry examination papers. And this morning, they are writing subsidiary ICT and music paper 3 in the afternoon. We are now set for marking of these examinations, especially for PLE and UCE. And for PLE, coordination has started. We do expect the senior examiners to report on the 30th of this month, to report for the other, or rather we expect the examiners to report on the 30th of November, while coordination is already underway for the senior examiners. We shall be conducting the examination, the marking of the examination from 14 centers, that is for PLE, and we do have a total of 7,500 examiners who have been contracted to undertake the marking for PLE examination papers. Just in case there are any who have not yet received their invitations, we do urge them to come to the secretariat and receive their invitations. Otherwise, we do expect all of them to have received their invitations. And beg your pardon, the marking shall be conducted from 13 centers, not 14 centers. For UCE, we have a total of 7,000 examiners who have been invited to do the marking. And this is a reduction from what we always have of 12,000 examiners. The centers have also reduced from 36 to 46, and this is mainly because the papers have reduced, rather the centers have reduced from 20 to 14 centers. This is mainly because we've had a reduction in the examination papers for UCE under the new lower secondary school curriculum. The subjects did reduce from 46 to 36, while the papers which are being marked, like when you have paper 1, paper 2, so the papers reduced from 126 to 69. As such, we've had to reduce the number of centers where we are conducting the examinations, where we are conducting the marking, but also we've had to reduce the number of examiners. Previously, we would have 12,000 examiners for UCE, but right now we are going to have only 7,000 examiners. In terms of the centers, we have reduced from, the centers have reduced from 20 centers to 14 centers. And out of these, 13 centers are going to be marking the UC examination for the new curriculum, while 1 center has been dedicated to the old. 2 others. So we shall have 13 centers having for the new curriculum. And out of these, 2 of them shall also host examiners for the old curriculum. So it will be done concurrently. So you're going to have those marking the new curriculum and those marking the old curriculum at 2 centers concurrently, and then just 1 center for those marking the old curriculum. We do expect the senior examiners for the UC examination to begin reporting on 30th of this month, while the rest of the examiners shall be reporting on the 6th of December 2024. We therefore request examiners to remain calm. We are going to be sending the invitations using the area supervisors, and just in case it doesn't come through, you can come to the secretariat, but we are going to be sending the invitations this week, and they will be getting to you through your area supervisors respectively. In terms of security, we have had a number of cases being reported by our various scouts and at the various police stations, and we are trying to analyze the cases. Our legal team is working together with police to investigate, to analyze the cases, and in some cases, investigations are underway. In Kasangati, the police on Friday did arrest the head teacher of the SS, on allegation of damaging an examination envelope that was found cut at the top. This was for the sub-math examination papers. The suspect, a one Sembatia Jimmy, was detained and later released on police bond as investigations continue. In Chira Division, Mogaga Ramadan, 24 years with 4 others, is due to appear before magistrate on 27th November for mention and bail application. The 4 are accused of unauthorized possession of examination materials. In another case, still in Chira Division, Babeko Albert and 3 others were convicted and sentenced to a 5-year sentenced to a fine of 5 million shillings each, or to serve 14-month imprisonment in the alternative. In PG, we have a case of a one Dabanji Charles and 3 others who were remanded until the 3rd of December for mention and bail application. They are charged with conspiracy to commit an examination malpractice, and the police are searching for the other suspect, who is a teacher who was seen writing on the chalkboard during the examination, or the candidates writing the examination. In Tororo, there's an ongoing case of Uganda versus Ejangu Moses, Elias Professor Moses, and Juko Dennis. In this case, we had A1 pleading guilty on each of the accounts and was entered and was sentenced to 18 months on each count to run consecutively. That makes it 36 months. One of the counts was sharing unauthorized material on social media and also possession of the same, also possession of the unauthorized material for examinations. The second accused pleaded not guilty and was released on bail and is due to appear before the magistrate on the 26th of November for hearing. As a board, we shall continue to work with state agencies to ensure that all malpractice cases are investigated accordingly. Once again, as NEB, we continue to commit to conducting valid, reliable, equitable, and equal assessment of the achievement of learners in a professional and innovative manner for the award of internationally recognized certificates. Thank you for your attention. For God and my country. Luganda, ndeta okulamusa okuva eby'omukulembeze w'ekitongole mwami Daniel Kracha Edong awamu n'abakozi bonna ab'ekitongole. Twagala okutegeeza eggwanga nti ebigezo ebyakamalirizo ebya P7 ne siniya ey'okuna ebya curriculum enkadde ne curriculum empya byawedde bulungi, era kati nga wenjogerera tuteekateeka okulaba nga tugolola ebigezo by'abaana ebyo ku levels ez'enjawulo. Bannaffe aba senior 6 abaana bo bakyagenda maaso n'okuwandiika empapula zaabwe, nga wiiki 2 eziyise abadde bawandiika bye tuyita high entry papers ezibeeramu abayizi abangi. Kati nga zino wiiki 2 ezigaddeyo bakola empapula ezikolebwa abayizi abatonotono, ng'olwaleero ku makya g'olwaleero bawandiise subsidiary ICT, ate ng'olweggulo bagenda kuba nga bakola music paper 3. Mu kigezo kya primary tutandise enteekateeka ey'okugolola empapula z'abaana zino, era nga bonna awamu tuyise abasomesa betusuubira okutyembako okugolola empapula z'abaana bali 705 bagenda okutyembako okugolola empapula zino. Tugenda kugolola empapula zino mu centers 13. Okugolola coordination egenda mu maaso, era nga tusuubira nti bano aba examiners abagenda okutyembako okugolola bagenda kujja ennaku z'omwezi nga 3, naye nga basenior examiners abakola coordination n'okukola marking guide and everything bo batandise dda okukola ogwabwe. Abatannaba kufuna invitations zaabwe nga ba examiners ku primary, twagala obakubiriza mukebere ku bannaffe ku secretariat abakolagana nammwe, mubabuuze singa ebbaluwa ye bajja eri bajja kuba nga bagikutuusaako. Ate ku senior ey'okuna yo wonna awamu tulina centers 13 ezigenda okuba nga zigolola ebigezo by'abayizi aba curriculum empya. Wabula ku zino centers 2 zigenda kuba nazo nga zigololerako ebigezo bya curriculum enkadde, ate nga center endala ey'14 yo erekeddwawo nga yagenda kuba nga egolola bigezo bya curriculum enkadde kitwayita transition examination. Center za primary za secondary zino zikendezeddwa okuva ku 2 paka center 14 olw'ensonga nti empapula abayizi ze bakola mu curriculum empya zakendera, subject zakendera, aye n'empapula ne zibeera nga zikendeera. subjects okusooka zaayana mu mukaaga kati mu curriculum empya ziri subjects 36 ate papers ze bakola paper 1 paper 2 bwezityo zo zaakendeera okuva ku 126 okutuuka ku papers 69 n'olw'ensonga eyo twali tulina okukendeeza ku senta ze tukolerako okugolola empapula z'abaana bano ate nga ne bannaffe abakyema kugolola ba examiners nabo baakendeera okuva ku 1,1200 okutuuka ku ba examiners 7 kati bano 7 empapula zaabwe rather ebbaluwa zaabwe ezibayita tugenda kuzibaweereza nga tuyita mu ba area supervisors wiiki eno era tusuubira nti nno ennaku z'omwezi nga 3 ba senior examiners bagenda kubanga reportinga okukola coordination n'okukola marking guides ate bali abalala ba reportinga ng'ennaku z'omwezi 6 omwezi ogw'11 so twagala okukubiriza ba examiners aba secondary nti nno tuna ebbawa tezinnaba kujja so temweraliikirira bagenda kubanga bebazi batuusaako kuyita area supervisors bammwe wiiki eno n'olwekyo mulindirire temwetaaga kujja ku kitongole ate ebyokwerinda tufunyeeyo reports nnyingi nga ziraga nti nno waliwo okubbira abaana ebigezo oba okukusa empapula mu ngeri emu oba endala nga mu kino UNEB eri kukolagana ne bannaffe aba poliisi okunoonyereza ku misango gino misango egimu gisobola okuba nga bajja gikozesaako ku kitongole administrative ate emisango emirala poliisi ajja gikolako abamu nga bagendagenda ne mu kkooti ekasangati ku Lwokutaano poliisi yakwata head teacher w'essomero eriyitibwa Kitendi Senior Secondary School awo ku Entebbe Road ng'ateeberezebwa okuba nti nno yasala ebbaasa eyalimu olupapula olw'ekigezo ekya submax ku Lwokutaano ono omukwate nga yesemba tya Jimmy ya poliisi yabeera ku poliisi ne Namma ne bamuwa police bond nga okunoonyezebwa kugenda mu maaso ate mu Kira division tulinayo Mugaga Ramadan wa myaka 24 ono ng'alina abalala 4 bano bo nga bagenda kubeera nga bagasimbagana n'omulamuzi ng'ennaku z'omwezi 27 omwezi guno ogw'11 okusaba bail bano nno nabo bavunaanibwa okuba nga balina olupapula olw'okuza okukola ekigezo kya UNEB mu butali butuufu era wano ekira we wamu waliwo omulala baba bamwita Babeko Albert awamu n'abalala 3 bano bo baba convictinga ne basentensinga emyezi 14 oba okuwa engasi ya $5,000,000 singa baba tebasobodde singa $5,000,000 oba okusibibwa emyezi 14 omusango baliko nabo gwakubanga balina ekigezo ewekyekusoka ku kigezo kya UNEB mu bukyamu ate empigi tunayo omusango tunayo omuba mwita Dabanji Charles ono ng'alina abalala 3 bano bagenda kuba babazaayo mu kkomera paka ng'ennaku z'omwezi 3 omwezi ogw'12 nga bano bagenda kuba nga bakomawo okusaba okweyimirirwa bano nabo bakoze batya bali accused bavunaanibwa okuba nga balina ekigezo kyekusa ku kigezo kya UNEB awamu n'okulagirira abayizi mu kibiina omu ku bano nno asuubira okuba nga yali ne bano omusango yaguza ne bano bamusanga ng'awandiika ku lubaawo ng'abaana bakola ekigezo naye n'adduka era poliisi ekyamunoonya ate ettororo tulinayo omusango era nagwo ogubadde gugenda mu maaso tulinamu ogwo omusango gwa Uganda versus Ejangu Moses ono nga yeeyita Professor Moses awamu ne Juko Dennis bano omu ku bo ano nga Ejangu ye yakkiriza omusango ogwamugambibwa ogw'okuba nga yalina ekigezo kya UNEB ku social media ku ssimu ye ate nga n'abeera ng'akigabana ku social media alina emisango 2 ogumu gwa unauthorized nga alina ekigezo mu bukyamu ate n'omusango omulala ogw'okugabana ekigezo ekyo kyeyalina ku social media yaweebwa emyezi 18 nga gyeddiringana ku buli musango girina awamu emyezi 36 ate oli omulala agenda asuubira okubanga appearing ew'omulamuzi olunaku olw'enkya ennaku z'omwezi nga 26 mu kkooti ettororo ng'ekitongole tugenda kugenda maaso n'okukolaganya wamu ne bannaffe ab'ebyokwerinda okulaba nga emisango gyonna gyonna egyekuusa kubba ebigezo bya UNEB gimalirizibwa bulungi bakinoonyerezeeko bulungi ate bamuwe ekibonerezo kisaanidde. Era ng'ekitongole twongera okweyama nti tujja kubanga tukolaganyaamu tugenda mu maaso n'okulaba nti tuteekateeka ebigezo mu ngeri ey'obwesimbu, engeri eyeesigika ate era mu ngeri y'ekikugu okulaba nga abayizi baffe bafuna satifikeeti eziyinza okubayamba eziyinza okuba nga zikkirizibwa mu nsi yonna. Tweyanziza nnyo, Mukama abawe omukisa. Yes, Paula. Webale nnyo ekibuuzo ekyo. Continuous assessment scores zino kye twakola, ekisooka twayongezayo deadline okulaba nga amasomero gasobola okuba nga gasubmitinga. Ne tuteekawo gye twayita rapid response team. Yabeeranga awo nga tetukola tetubalinda bo okutukubira. Ttiimu yaffe ng'ekuba kubanga onawa olikusinyana atanaba kuwaayo. Yaani tukisanga nako kye bayita surprising ng'ate amasomero amanene ge gatanaba kuwaayo. Bwe twabuuza natugamba because of the numbers kubanga olina okuyingizaamu data per candidate. Naye yatwakuba essimu amasomero gonna ntwawo ne silent grace period paka bonna ye basobola okukola ki okuwaayo. What I know, the last time I checked, wali amasomero gaali 2 gokka agali gatannaba kuwaayo naye nga ttiimu yaffe yali ekolagana nabo okulaba nga bamaliriza. Abasinga balinga bafuna obuzibu mu kusubmitinga oba mu kudownloadinga app eyo gye twabawa ku CD. Kitwakola nga ttiimu yaffe gye yakolanga nga baatuulanga waawo wenajja ne content ku CD yamuyambako okusubmitinga. So nzikiza ne bonna basobodde okusubmitinga era oluvannyuma lw'ekyo bwe twamala aba senior 4 ne tusaba n'aba senior 3 era nabo babadde basubmitinga nabo dde gyenyagwa kuba nakusoma mwezi 15 naye twabawayo grace period. Twagala okukubiriza abasomesa bonna abali eyo bonna abayizi aba senior 3 bonna bakuwaayo obubonero bwa continuous assessment jangu ku kitongole bakuyambeko okuwaayo obubonero bw'abaana abo kubanga singa tobuwaayo ate mudda bajja kukifunamu obuzibu. Era mpozi mu ngeri y'emu njagala n'okusaba abazadde awamu n'abasomesa abajja abaana okuva mu ssomero erimu okugenda mu ssomero eddala. Omwana bw'abanga avudde mu ssomero erimu ng'agenza mu ssomero eddala tekirinaako buzibu naye labanga ofuna scores za continuous assessment. Babuuze mwali mwaziwaayo mu UNEB. Nammwe amasomero twagala okubasaba singa omwana akuganye nti agala kutransferinga mumuleke mumuwe marks ze tubeere nga tusobola okukola ki ate muwe proof nti wazisubmitinga entyo tusobola okuba nga tuzitrackinga gye tuli mu UNEB. Tutagala bakubiriza mwena aba senior 3 the still a grace period ekyaliko mujje mu submitting scores z'abaana. Senior 4 just in case tonnaba ku submitting nkyenzanga na submitting naawe osobola okujja kubanga abaana tebajja kuba gradinga singa tolina scores zino za continuous assessment naye nga baali bakoze bulungi baafuba oziteekayo. Okay, so regarding continuous assessment scores for the senior 4 candidates, we had initially set a deadline, but we did extend the deadline to enable all the learners to submit the scores. We realized there was traffic and there was a delay in submission, especially for the schools which have high enrollment. So we had to support them. We set up what we called a rapid response team at our station, which was there to address these issues. They would specifically call school by school and establish what is your problem, what is the challenge, do you need support? Some of them would support them online. Some of them would encourage them to actually bring the CDs with the content to our headquarters, and our teams were able to help them submit the scores. So by and large, the scores for senior 4 candidates, the last time I checked, only 2 schools had not submitted, and our teams were working with them to ensure they do submit the scores. So I'm expecting that all of them must have submitted all their scores. But just in case there is a school which hasn't submitted, we ask them to please come to us and we shall be able to receive the scores. In the same vein, the senior 3 candidates also had to submit their the scores for, the schools had to submit scores for senior 3 students. That is the CS scores at that level. Deadline was 15th of November, but we still have a grace period. So we want to encourage all schools and teachers out there who are responsible for submitting scores for senior 3 students. Please either come to us and we shall help you submit those scores, because in case they do not submit those scores, later on they won't be graded when they get to senior 4. So we want to make sure we don't leave any stone untouched and unturned. So kindly, teachers and parents, do confirm with your schools that they did submit their scores to your name. I think that's it. That's about it. Oh yes. Yeah, we want to encourage people who change schools, both parents and teachers. And if a school is receiving a new learner, kindly request for their continuous assessment scores. And to the schools where the learner is coming from, please be responsible enough. Please hand over those scores, because we need to make sure that they are integrated within the NEB system. So we need that confirmation, and because that make sure before you move to another school, you have those scores, and we encourage schools to please avail those scores to the learners. Okay, thank you so much. First and foremost, we've tried to do that. We've tried to handle that. The NEP Act 2021 provides for display of registers of candidates, and we've been encouraging people, please, 60 days before the examination begins, 2 months before the examination begins, we've always been encouraging parents. The schools, first and foremost, are supposed to display the registers of candidates in a conspicuous place on the notice boards in schools. So we expect all the parents, all the learners to go there and check out those registers, confirm if you have been registered. Just in case you've not been registered, find out why aren't you on the register, and also confirm the correctness of data. Look at the spelling of names, the order of names, look at the date of birth, look at the photograph, is it the correct photograph? Look at the gender. You have cases where somebody is female and they're referred to as male. Those are changes that can be made. That is why we leave a whole 60 days to make sure that you go and confirm. We used to have an SMS option on the forms, whereby as long as you know the index number of the candidate, you go to your SMS option, then you send the full index number, send to 6600. You are able to get the information. If your child has been registered, and not so much detail, but at least you can confirm if they've been registered. So I want to encourage parents, please be part of the process. Don't leave everything to the teachers. So just in case the child has not been registered, then you can come to NEB, and we've been helping so many of them, by the way. We had many cases, unfortunately, that came up, and we're able to handle them, even up till the day of briefing. For UCE, for PLE, we were still able to help those people, and were able to give them examinations. I'm hoping nobody missed an examination due to lack of registration, because we really did our best. But every other year we shall keep having candidates. So I want to encourage anyone who is a parent, please always make sure, be part of the learning, teaching and learning of your child. Be part of the registration process. Follow it step by step. That is why we are asking you, even for continuous assessment scores, please confirm that the scores for senior 3 students have all been submitted. If in case they haven't been submitted, ask them why. I know they can tell they've been submitted or some, but please do confirm that they've been submitted, so that you're not surprised at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, at senior 4, if a child has no CS scores, the NEB shall not grade them. So we need to avoid those inconveniences. First and foremost, yes, there's got to be the UNEP Act has a provision for that. First of all, you have to first show proof that you paid. That's the most important thing. You have the proof, so have your SMS message or have the receipt to show that you paid. So now, in that case, the UNEP Act section, I think 25, talks about misappropriating registration money. So if you do misappropriate the money which is supposed to be for registration and you did not submit it to your name, so your child was not registered, according to the Act, you can be convicted for, I think it's about 10 years imprisonment or charged with a fine of 40 years. And if you're a teacher, of course, you're a teacher, you definitely, maybe there's some directors who are not their directors still, but if you're a teacher, you also dealt with according to the policy that governs discipline as per the teacher's policy. So it's very important to always make sure you keep your receipts. And in case of anything, kindly report to police. Because just know your name is not, we are just an assessment body. So in case of anything, for you to have a case, then you have to make sure you log in your complaint to police, and you can work together with police. Okay, thank you so much.
Morning everybody, morning our viewers. This is the state of security and operational incidents today, the 25th November 2024. We shall begin with the stories and issues rotating around the parish development model. Recently, the President of the Republic of Uganda issued a strong warning against the theft and misappropriation of money meant for PDM during his regional tours. He called upon law enforcement bodies to act swiftly against offenders in this government project. Since his guidance, Uganda Police Force has so far apprehended 13 persons for various offenses in relation to PDF funds in Serere, in Amudat, and Moroto district. In the financial year 2022-2023, PDM was dispersed to 2 circles in Serere, that is Irukori Circle and Kablabla Kadunguru PDM Circle. Now, during the inspection, a team from PDM Secretariat unearthed a number of irregularities. Police recently apprehended 8 persons to open investigations against them in respect to those allegations. And those are Mr. Erurusam, the LC3 chairperson of Kadunguru sub-county. Police also apprehended Mr. Okong Jane Smile. Then it also apprehended Mr. Oima John Michael. It also apprehended Mr. Ogwang James, the parish chief of Kabulara Parish, Kadunguru sub-county. It also apprehended Obeke James, the LOC2 chairperson of Kabulara Parish. It apprehended Mr. Ayub Simon, the chairperson of Iruko PDM Circle. It also apprehended Mr. Oyunai Bosco, the chairperson of Kabulala Kadungulu PDM Sacco. It also apprehended one of the beneficiaries called Eko Julius. In the preliminary findings of the team, there are people whose national IDs were used to register for PDM benefits without their knowledge. Money was paid, and those members got surprised to see their names on lists of beneficiaries, yet they never received any money. Some people and their wives got money, yet money was meant for one person per household. There was also a civil servant who benefited from the fund, whereas he was not entitled. There were beneficiaries who didn't belong to the parishes that had been allocated money. Then in Amudat, on 21st of November 2024, police and other agencies interested themselves in the PDF funds and found that parish chiefs of locales in Amudat allegedly deleted names of deserving beneficiaries and replaced them with those that are not eligible for funds. Police apprehended 4 suspects in line with the investigations. Then in Moroto, on 18th November, police received a report from one Ateko Teresa, an 84-year-old resident of Natumkasiog village in Rupa sub-county, Moroto district. The complainant alleges that one Morujois, a treasurer of a SACCO, exploited the victim's advanced age and deceived her to applying for PDM funds. Joyce, she's called Joyce Moru. Joyce is accused of taking the victim's SIM card, registration, and filling out PDM forms in the victim's names without her presence. Then 1 million shillings was dispersed. Now what Joyce did was to revert 100,000, gave it to the old lady, and pocketed the 900,000. That one was apprehended, and she appeared before court and was remanded. Then we had the operations against the cannabis gardens and the consumption of marijuana. In Mbale, on 21st November 2024, we discovered the cannabis gardens owned by Oguti, one named Oguti, in Jirima Upper Village, Luabo Oba Parish, Bamsiche Sub-County in Mbale District. Police destroyed those gardens and also arrested Oguti. Then the following day, police raided a bar in Gogonya and arrested one Nakawunde Lydia and one called Kawoya, who were caught smoking marijuana. This bar in Gogonya, you may think it is a bar, but preliminary findings by police show that it is the biggest supplier of marijuana around the areas of Gogonya. So we got them with the stocks of marijuana, but the owner of the bar disappeared. We also carried out a similar operation in Iganga district, in Busei A and Nampirika, which resulted into the arrest of 12 suspects. We continued and carried out more operations in Bengazi Ghetto, within Tengasel, Nabingo Ward, in Chengera Town Council, that is the Wakiso district, where we netted a lady called Chalimpa Evelyn. Our photos show she had huge stocks of marijuana as well. Now, marijuana is becoming a very serious problem. The consumption notwithstanding, the most important thing that our community needs to take seriously is that as soon as these young men and women consume this marijuana, they attack neighborhoods, attack people moving along their ways, they attack people going to their workstations, they injure them. There are people having very, very, very serious injuries as a result of people who essentially consume these illegal substances. And it has become a problem all over the place. It cannot be only police to detect that a consumer of marijuana is within a neighborhood. Now, the most important issue we want the public to take note of and also interest themselves is that the consumers of these illegal substances live with them. Some of them are children, some of them are husbands to these victims, to these members of society. Our societies need to pick keen interest in the consumption of illicit drugs in our communities. We also did an operation in Tinda along Stretcher Road. Stretcher Road has a group of youth who are fond of snatching phones and bags. These ones, police managed to net 18 and also 8 motorcycles. Since when we netted them on 21st, not even a single motorcycle has been reclaimed. They usually use these motorcycles as waiting, as means of transport in waiting. Once these criminals strike, they usually have motorcycles with riders, which are usually used as a means of transport to whisk away suspects. So you can see up to now, not even one person has come to even make a claim. So these operations come at a time when we are heading towards the festive season, and we feel that we need to intensify them so as to lessen the level of risk posed by most of these. And also what you need to note is that almost all these fellows we arrest, at the end of the day, we find them with marijuana. So it seems to be a big booster in their actions. We also had a number of operations by police where we used our canine effort and apprehended a number of persons. In the morning of November 19th, 2024, police in Mityana responded to a scene of shop breaking in Nyankumbi, Nayankumbi, LOC1, Chimuli, Manyi sub-county in Mityana district. It led, when we introduced our canine at the scene of crime where they had broken into a shop, our photos will help you get the pictorial of what happened. At the residence, police led us to the residence of one Lutalo Isaya, who mentioned 2 other suspects, Chigundu Gerard and Sally Ronald. All these have since been apprehended, and exhibits of hard cash, bread, cooking oil, soap, and an assortment of items ordinarily found in shops were found in possession of these suspects. The following day, again, we carried out, we introduced canine in Buliantete village Lugazi municipality, that's Buyikwe district, where assailants had attacked a resident of that area and stole his belongings. Now, when canine was introduced, it led us to the home of one Kato, who later mentioned 4 others who are still at large, but we managed to apprehend Kato. We proceeded. We also, on the 21st, in Nyamirambi Cell, Rugando Parish, Cheshero sub-county in Kanungu district, introduced canine at a scene where somebody's coffee had been stolen, sacks had been stolen. When we introduced our canine, it led us to the residence of one Tumuhami Ronald, whom we did a search at his residence, only to find exhibits of the same coffee. He even led us to another home of one Ndiagu Noha Joy. We went there, found sacks of the complainant. Those sacks were sacks of coffee, and all these were apprehended. In Nakaseke, we did the same. In the night of 22nd November, still people went to a coffee plantation, harvested coffee berries. A matter was reported at police. That is in Nankwaswa village in Chito sub-county. Canine managed to lead us to one Vogere Kaziwe. And we have him in our custody. No, it took us to a store. When it took us to a store, that store, the owner led us. That was a store which received stolen coffee from Bogere Kaziwe. Now the store manager told us, no, this coffee, there is somebody called Bogere Kaziwe who brought it and sold it to us. So we went and apprehended him. Today, that is what I can give you. But what I need to communicate is why you see me emphatically on the issues of canine and really very, very strong is because that dog is very, very useful. It is a game changer at times in crime, some crimes. And we encourage the citizens to make use of it. What you only need to do is whenever you need a dog, reach out to the DPC. By this time, we expect that a citizen should be having the contacts of the police that takes him. Especially, you need to look out for a contact of your area DPC, your area OC. We have also shared the emergency numbers of the police force. We can always add, they are even on our websites. Of course, not all our population can access websites, but we shall continue sharing these numbers. Once this dog is utilized and in a timely manner, usually we register very good results. Abatuwuliriza n'abatulaba, tuyina operations ze twakola mu week eno eyawedde. President w'eggwanga bwe yali alambula zones mu Eastern Uganda, yawa warning kwabo ababba sente za parish development model. Police yayimukiramu ne operations, era wetwogerera nga twakakwata abantu 13 ababulankanya serengeza mu bye bakola. Yasanga ebintu bingi nga lengeza mu bye bakola, yasanga ebintu bingi nga tebitambula bulungi, era ffe nga poliisi twalina okukwatamu abantu 8 abeekuusa mu bintu ebitatambula bulungi, nga mwe mwali LC3 chairperson owa Kadungulu sub-county. Twakwata ne mwami omu we bayita Okong John Ismail, Jane Ismail, ne tukwatamu ne omwami omu we bayita Oyima John Michael, ne tukwata ne omwami Ogwang James, ono nga ye parish chief wa Kabulala parish mu Kadungulu sub-county. Twakwatayo ne LC2 chairperson wa Kabulala parish, ono nga bamuyita Obeke James. Twakwatayo ne Eyobu Simon, chairperson wa Iruko PDM Sacco, then ne chairperson wa Kabulabula Kadungulu PDM Sacco, omwami Oyunai Bosco, naye twamukwata. Then ne tukwatayo n'omu eyali mu luzungu bwe bayita beneficiary, mwaba abalina okubanga be baganyulwa mu ssente we bayita Ekou Julius. Mu bye basanga ebimu, basanga nga waliwo abantu be bawandiisa simu cards zaabwe, naye abantu bagenda okusanga nga amanya gaabwe bagawandiisa naye nga akasente tebaafuna. Then waliwo abalala abawandiisa bakyala baabwe. Then waliwo n'omulala yali civil servant, mukozi wa government, naye ne basanga nga akasente yafuna ate nga yali tasaanidde kufuna. Waliwo n'abamu mu kunoonyereza we basanga nti baali si ba ku byalo ebyo naye nga baafuna akasente. So abo 8 tubayina mu poliisi. Then nga 21 omwezi guno mu Amudat waliwo ba parish chiefs be twasanga nga aba locales, ekitundu kye bayita locales, nga bano bo abantu abaali basaanidde okufuna ssente babajja ku lukalala, then ne bateekako abatayina kufuna ssente. Awo twakwatayo 4, era kati okunoonyereza kugenda mu maaso. Emoroto eyoyo waliwo omukyalo omu ow'emyaka 84 we bayita Ateko Tereza. Ono ye waliwo omukyala yagenda n'amuwandiisa mu Sacco, ssente bwe bazirekula $1,000,000. Ono omukyala we bayita Moru Joyce, treasurer wa Sacco, yakwatako $10,000 n'aziwa omukadde, then ye $9,000 n'azitwala. Ono twamutute mu kooti era yagenze dda ne mu prison, mukomera ali kwa rimanda. Then twakolayo n'ebikwekweto ku njaga Embale mu Nanjirima Upper Village. Twasanga omwami omu we bayita Oguti Robert nga ayina olusuku lw'enjaga, olwo twaluteeka wansi naye ate naye ne tumukwata. Then enjaga waliyo ebikwekweto bye tubadde tukola mu Gogonya, kitundu kye bayita Gogonya, that is in Wakiso, ndoza Bulenga. Twakolayo ekikwekweto gye twafuna ebbaala nga ejjudde enjaga eno gye banywa. Ebanga ebbaala, intelligence yaffe eraga nti bagikozesa ng'ebbaala, naye bw'otuukamu essentially batunda enjaga nga yeesinga okutunda enjaga ku kyalo ekyo. Nannyini w'ebbaala yadduka naye twasobola okukwatamu abantu 2 omukyala omu Nakawunde Lydia n'omwami omu we bayita Kawooya, era nga abo tubayina. Ne nannyini bbaala tujja kuba tumufuna. Ne Iganga ne tukolayo ekikwekweto mu area gye bayita Buseeyi ne Nampirika. Eyo twakwatayo abantu 12 era nga nabo twabasanga n'enjaga. Then nga 23 November twakola operation mu Bengazi Ghetto, mu Tega Cell na Bingo Ward, Kyengera Town Council. Eyo twakwatayo omukyala omu Kyalimpa Evelyn we twasanga ng'ayina enjaga nnyingi era ebifaananyi byaffe bwe biri wano. Then Ntinda Stretcher Road, eyo nayo twakolawo operation ekiro ssaawa 6 ogw'ekiro, ne tukwatayo 18, then ne tukwatayo ne piki 8. Bano bonna tubatwala mu kooti, naye kye twagala okutegeeza abantu nti ekintu ky'enjaga kino kitwale very serious. Abavubuka bano enjaga nnyingi, poliisi egezaako okukola ogwayo nga amateeka bwe galagira, naye bano abanywi b'enjaga basula nammwe, abamu batabani bammwe, abalala babbammwe, abalala bakozi bammwe, naye at the end of the day obulabe babutuusa ku bantu mu bitundu byammwe. So poliisi kyesaba is mukwatagane bulungi nayo. Sometimes twetaaga intelligence ku baana bano, kubanga ebifo bye banyweramu enjaga abantu abamu babimanyi. So mutuyambe tusharinga intelligence, because emisango esinga obungi yonna yeetoloolera ku njaga eno. Then tuyina ne operations ze twakola nga tweyambisa embwa za poliisi. Twakola Mityana mu area ya Nayankumbi LC1 mu Kimuli Kimwanyi sub county, we twaleeta embwa yaffe we baali bamenye edduuka ly'omutuuze omwo mu kitundu ekyo, era embwa yatuyamba netutwala mu maka ga Lutalo Isaya, eyatutwala mu n'atulaga ba suspects abalala 2, Kigundu Gerard ne Sally Ronald. Era bano bwe twabaaza twabasanga n'ebizibiti ebya sente enkalu, emigaati, cooking oil yoyo buto ne sabbuuni n'ebintu ebirala ebyemumanyi ebibeera mu dduuka, n'ebifaananyi weebiri wano tujja kusharinga nammwe. Then olunaku olwaddako era nawo operation yaffe mu Bulyanteete Lugazi municipality mu Buyikwe, twakwata omwami omu we bayita Lulujwa Samuel, bamutuusaako obulabe mu maka ge, era bwe twaleeta embwa yatutwala paka mu maka ga Kato, omusajja omu we bayita Kato. Era Kato bwe twamukolako search twamusanga n'ebintu ebimu ebibbe. Yanokolayo n'abantu abalala, naye abo tujja kuba tubakwata. Then nga 21 November mu kifo kye bayita Nyamirambi Cell, Lugando Parish mu Kanungu District, omwami omu bamubbako emwanyi, era naye yeeyambisa poliisi yaffe bwe yatuloopera. Bwe twateeka embwa ku scene ya tracinga omwami omu we bayita Tumuhamye Ronald, era bwe twayaza Tumuhamye Ronald twamusanga n'emwanyi ze yali abbye, n'atutwala n'omukyala omulala we bayita Ndyagu Nwoha Joy, ne Joy naye twamusanga ne emwanyi era nazo ezaali enzibe, era bano twabakwata nga nabo bakooti. Then mu Nakaseke nayo kikwekweto kyali kyekimu. Wano babba emwanyi za mwami omu mu Nakanswa village mu Kito sub county, era bwe twaleeta poliisi, omwami oyo bwe yaloopera poliisi mu Kiwoko, poliisi yaffe yagenda n'etutwala paka ku store we yali atunze emwanyi zino, era ekyatuyamba nannyini w'ekyuma ky'emwanyi yatubuulira nti eyali aleese emwanyi zino bali bamuyita Boogerekazibwe, era Boogerekazibwe ne tumukwata. Ekirungi Boogere nakkiriza nga bwe yali n'akola admission mu bubbi buno. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala. Tufuneyo ku bibuuzo, tandike naawe. Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes. No. Let's be orderly, please. Okay. Then I think that's all. Very interesting questions. Now, one of you has raised a concern that persons have been, there are cases that have been registered of persons dying at residences or within the precincts of areas owned by renowned musicians. I think first and foremost is we can only treat each case on a case-by-case basis, because usually you cannot put them in one you cannot put them in one on a bandwagon. No, each have their own. By the time the incident of Karamaji occurred, since I was not a PRO, I did not interest myself in that matter. And I was not even working within the areas of the scene of crime or the area where it occurred. This one requires for me to hear and also ask about the details of how the matter was handled and how it was concluded. Otherwise, I risk misleading you with false information. The other, you have mentioned of which other singer? Alien Skin, the most recent. That matter is still very fresh. I would be very comfortable. It is too early to condemn the investigators now. The investigation is still going on. I know that there is a lot of work being done. One thing which we don't encourage as police is that thing, give us a report. No, that's not how we do work. In any case, when we investigate, we report to the state attorneys, the office of the DPP. It is the DPP who usually gives us guidance. Do this, this information is insufficient, add this, and now we are still in the kitchen, still doing work. The case of Alien Skin, first and foremost, pardon? Now that one I also don't have information. These are the ones which, if you needed information, you would rather send me to go and look for it. Yes, but at least the one I know is about Alien Skin. Alien Skin, let's first investigate these matters rotating around their issues. Yes, and I also need to make it very clear, when we were arresting him, we took him on for matters regarding his altercations at the hospital. Then it also, by coincidence, he had a file which had been sanctioned, and based on that sanctioned file, he was taken in. Yes. You want the procedure of auctioning? Okay, even in English. But it's a simple procedure. Usually, there are items which come to police, and then we hold them as either exhibits. There are those we hold as lost and found property. Now, ordinarily, when an item is lost and found, it should be claimed. Now, there are items where you find 5 years down the road, nobody has ever made a claim. Nobody has ever reported a loss, unclaimed property. There is property where you find people have lost interest. They are unwilling So we have a number of unclaimed property, and whereas we have limited space as police. So what happens? Time comes when we desire to offload some of those items. And when the desire comes, we call upon the public out there. We communicate through renowned official channels, and we alert public that we are about to offload those items. A time frame is given. Then we go through a process. We get court orders, but not as police. There are bailiffs who are designated to run those procedures, who, when they go through all the procedures, items are listed, due diligence is done, then the auction process ensues. So I may have left out one or two steps, but essentially that is the generic picture I need to give you. And we follow almost similar procedures with all other MDAs and all other agencies which go through certain formal procedures of auctioning and of disposal of unclaimed assets. Somebody has asked about the shootings in Ntinda. Yeah, we had that unfortunate incident where 2 persons lost their lives. Our teams are on ground. Of course, at the moment, it would be too early to start sharing their progress, especially when you are dealing with such criminals, armed and sophisticated. It is not advisable for you to go into revealing every step of your progress. We are trying our level best. We hope our team shall make significant breakthroughs. Then comes in, the issue of the case of Bujingo. Yeah, you will recall that Pastor Bujingo was shot at some point, and the matter is still under investigations. Like we told you, they may have made some breakthroughs may have been made in the correlation between the firearm that was used against him and his bodyguard, as well as the late Olex. But that is just tips. It is work in progress, and until when we make significant breakthroughs, that's when we shall come up and we'll give you a concrete brief about that matter. No, not really. I don't have any evidence. Then there is somebody who has requested us to talk about, this is very, very important. And you will recall that we always say that we share pieces of advice on such a platform in lieu of certain security observations. Children, school-going children have taken holidays, I guess all. Just that, as our UNEB spokesperson has told you, there are some scholars, students who are still doing or sitting for exams. So they are still at school. Now, but generally the holiday season has kicked off. Now this holiday season comes with a number of challenges. One, children are exposed. Remember, they are vulnerable, they are young, they are highly exposed. This is when you start hearing kidnap cases. Why? Parents start assigning children tasks which are risky, sending them to shops late night. You find a 5-year-old sent to a shop which is in 500 to 700 meters at 8 p.m. unattended. There are very many fellows who exploit such opportunities. You find a young girl aged 12, 14, 16, sent to a trading center which is scattered with a number of rowdy youths. Then tomorrow you hear cases of defilements and sexual abuse. Then also, as police, we also observe incidences of domestic violence. When children are far away from these parents, at times their chances of pouncing on these children are lessened. Now, we usually in holidays experience or register cases where children are molested by parents. You find children beaten, battered, with very severe marks of beatings, courtesy of their rude and very stressed parents. So all that, of course, we need to warn. You punish and maim these children. As police, we shall come for you in the name of protecting their rights and freedoms. Then we also, I think those are the essential aspects we need to share. Then there is somebody who raised that there is a rise in cases of defilement, and who is to blame. I don't know where you get your statistics, but we have not yet released our annual crime report. So maybe as soon as we release the report, we shall make a comparison to tell whether they are on a rise or not. What I know is that sometimes you may come across many more than those you had the previous month or two. But generically, what I can say is that because you asked who is to blame, who is to blame? Every adult is to blame. When a child is defiled and you roll back on the responsibility centers, you discover that so many people didn't do their work. And actually, you will find that for us as police, at times we are at the tail end. So each case is determined by its own circumstances and situations. There is a child who is defiled because the parent was negligent. A child who was left in the hands of irresponsible adults. A child who was left to go and who was exposed to situations like those I've mentioned. Leaving a girl of 12 to go and do shopping in the night at a trading center. Whom do you blame? You blame the parent. Then there are also situations which are beyond everybody's control. Have you heard of child-led families? Where you find the orphans and you find the person heading a family is an infant. I'm sorry, is a person probably the age of 18 and looking after siblings. So you find that vulnerable family is exposed, highly exposed. Then I also don't rule out I don't always spare the people who are responsible for the moral fiber of this society, because the defilement is a moral issue to one extent. When morals are not okay, who is to blame? We have religious institutions, we have cultural institutions, and all these people have come out to claim they champion the cause of morality. Now, if society is not following the moral path, or they have derailed, so you can see that everybody has a role to play. Then comes the law and order sector. It is our duty to bring to book those who break these laws. We need to punish them. Do we do so? I will say yes, but are people satisfied with our services? That is for you people to judge us. Otherwise, I would be a judge in my own case and cause. So you will find that all of us have a role to play. Religious institutions, the state, even the community. So I think I've answered you. Byonna tugenda bikankome weno. Kyetubadde mwogedde ku misango egyo gy'abayimbi abantu abafiira mu maka gaabwe. Nga bwe mbadde njogedde mu Luzungu nti buli musango ogutunuulira ne facts zaagwo, because emisango tegifaanana. Guno eyo incident eyali ewa Chameleon siina facts zaagwo era siyinza gukomentingako kinene kubanga saali mwogezi by then nate nali sikolera mu kitundu ekyo, so siina specific facts ze nsobola kuteeka wano okuyamba abuuziza ekibuuzo ekyo. Then waliwo ayogedde ku kya ziti Nsamba, nayo same thing, siina facts. Ate manyi bw'oba tolina facts oyinza ku ending up ng'olimbye oba ng'oyogedde ekintu ekitali mu line. Naye facts zenna zokka ye issue ya alien skin. Alien skin eyo issue eya omulenzi oyo yafuna obuvune n'emmotoka. Eyo tujja kunoonyereza and ebinaavaamu tujja kuba tusharinga nammwe. Ate tetunaba kulaga nti alien skin wetulumiriza mu accident. Alien skin just obuzibu bwe yafuna bwokka is waliwo akakuubagano n'abasawo mu ddwaliro lya Nsambya ne bamuwabaabira, era poliisi omusango nekola ki, negutwala mu maaso, then ne basanga nti yayina ne fayiro eri sanctioned, eyo fayiro n'emutwaza mu kooti. Waliwo abuuziza ku procedure ya auctioning. Ku poliisi auctioninga ebintu ebiba birudde ku police stations naye nga tebiriiko abantu ababino abajja okubiclaiminga. Ate tukozesa ba bailiffs. Ng'abapoliisi bennyini toyinza kusanga DPC nga tudde n'ennyondo ng'ali kukola ki? Ali kukola auctioning. Naye tufuna ba bailiffs, tuyina ebintu ku poliisi ebijja nga either bizibiti, ebirala waliwo ebintu ebiba bibuze ne bizuulibwa ne bireetebwa mu Luzungu bireetebwa ku poliisi, mu Luzungu tubiyita lost and found property. Then waliwo n'ebirala by'osanga nga byajja ku poliisi naye abantu bananyini nga tebakyabiyinamu interest. So ebintu bino tubirangisa. Bwe tumala okubirangisa, ndooza abantu babawa usually akadde, waliwo akadde ke babawa nti bw'oba tozze kubiclaiminga ne statement eyo nga bagitadde mu mawulire, then auction process egenda mu maaso. Ate usually bwe tumala okukola auction eyo tuzaayo returns mu kooti, oyo bailiff bwe tuba tukozeseza azaayo return mu kooti. Suubira nkuwadde explanation. Usually kisinziira mu ngeri ki, because bailiff yayina okumakinga sure the process yagitambuza bulungi. Then on our side naffe the DPC ne OCCID bakola mu luzungu tuyita due diligence. Kati nga for example making sure nti ebizibiti ebyemisango ekyagenda mu maaso tebabigatta naki, naye nga bw'omanyi errors can be there. Sometimes an error can be there nga nosanga ekizibiti ekikyalina omusango ogugenda mu maaso kikrossinze. Naye tutera okubonereza aba officers baffe era abayina kuwaaba mu poliisi. Era tutera ogamba wano nti poliisi ng'ebitongole ebirala byonna MDS tuyina emitendera gye bawaabamu bw'oba nga owulira oyina obutali bumativu. One, osobola okuwaaba eri Professional Standards Unit, oba mu poliisi oyinza okuwaaba waggulu, eddaala lya waggulu okusinga ku oyo omuntu oyagala okuwaabira. Bw'oba ng'olina obuzibu ne OC post, ogenda ewa DPC n'owaaba. Bw'oba olina obuzibu ne DPC, ogenda ewa Regional Police Commander n'owaaba. Bw'oba olina obuzibu ne Regional Police Commander, ogenda ewa Director Operations. Bw'oba olina obuzibu ne police, tuyina ne Inspector General of Police asobola okuwuliriza ensonga yonna w'olowooza nti maybe abapoliisi bonna tebajja kuyamba. Tuyina Professional Standards Unit etuuka buli wamu, eyina branches buli wamu ku regions. Tuyina regions 29. So surely tuyina structures, tutaddewo structures ezisobola okuyamba omuntu alina ekizibu. Then waliwo shootings za ntinda nga bwe mumanyi obuzibu obwaliwo oyo omwami bwe bakuba amasasi owa mobile money n'owa boda yali azze okumuyambako kumutaasa. It was a very unfortunate situation. Kati nga bwe tuze tubagamba poliisi ekyakola ogwayo, so at this moment tekyalibadde kirungi kutandika kubawa details za ki kye bali okukola. Naye bwe tuliba tulina kye tukoze ekisobola okuleetebwa mu maaso ne tubabuulira, tujja babuulira naye nga tetutudde ku musango ogwo. Then waliwo abuuziza era ku musango gwa Bujingo, nakyo kyekimu Bujingo until that time bwe tunaafuna amawulire ge tuwulira nti tukoze breakthrough ku kintu ku musango ogwo, tujja kujja tusharinge nabo. Holiday makers, waliwo aboogeddeko. Abaana bangi mu Uganda bafunye holidays. Twagala okusaba abazadde nti abaana mubakwate bulungi, abaana mubateekeko eriiso. Waliwo abaana baba exposed wabweru eyo, bayina ebintu bingi ebisobola okubatuukako. Waliwo ababba abaana, waliwo abakwata abaana mu defilements. So abazadde mwetaaga ne muteekamu ku maanyi mangi. Wano tuze tusharinga nammwe stories ez'abazadde nosanga omuzadde ng'atuma omwana ku dduuka ku ssaawa 2 ssaawa 3 ez'ekiro. Edduuka liri mu meters 5, ate ku trading center kuliko agavubuka gangi. Enkya ogenda okuwulira nti omwana bwe yali addayo baamukwatira mu kasiko. Ebintu ng'ebyo tusobola okubyewala. Then also nammwe abazadde, tulina abazadde nabo abadda ku baana ne bakuba. Nosanga omwana nga yenna akabina kaweddewo omugongo, bakubisa wires, bakubisa emigo emizibu, omwana bamumenye, nosanga omwana nga bamumenye n'eggumba. naye of course kyetubalabula is that amateeka weegali, rights z'omwana bw'otazirespectinga, manya ffe nga poliisi tujja ne tukukwata ne tukutwala ne mukomera. Abaana bano mubawe emirimu egibasaanidde. Of course waliwo ne kye tuyita child labor, naye nga it is abuse. Kati nosanga omwana bamutute ku garage, bamusituza ebyuma almost ebyagala omusinga obuzito. Ebintu ng'ebyo birina engeri gye bikosaamu abaana. Omwana oyinza okumutwala yes ne mulima wamu ne mubalaga engeri gye bakolamu emirimu awaka, naye emirimu egyo gyetaaga okuba nga gijja mu myaka gyabwe, si kufuna bakozi bakubayambako kwetika migugu gyammwe. So child abuse eyo nayo tutera ogifuna nga poliisi. Otherwise abaana abo mubatunuulire. Abaana abamu benyigira mu kunywa enjaga. Tulina cases nyingi ze turegisterinze ze tusanze abaana nga banywa enjaga. Because bino ebikwekweto bye mulaba bye tukola entinda weya, oluusi tukwatiramu abaana bammwe abali mu holidays. Bava ewammwe ne bagenda ne bajoininga ebikoosi by'abaana abavubuka abanywi b'enjaga. Mugenda okukola operations, musanga omwana ng'ayina ID y'essomero. So mubateekeko amaaso, tubasaba mulabe nti tebenyigira mu bumenyi bw'amateeka, temubatuusaako bulabe, ate nekyala baprotecting against abo abantu abasobola okubatuusaako obulabe. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala ku ekyo. Ekisembayo ekyo ekya eyabuuziza ku kya defilement badde neerabidde. Defilement nagyogeddeko omuzungu, nagambye nti omwana bw'aba defiled, bw'ozza emabega akatambi ojja kusanga nti bantu bangi b'osobola okubleminga. Ekisooka defilement kintu kya mpisa. Bw'olaba nti defilement weeziri mu ggwanga, then that means si buntu bulamu, there is obugwenyufu buba bungi. Now, ani ayina responsibility ku bugwenyufu bw'abantu ba bulijjo? Ekyo sooka n'okyebuuza. Bw'obanga obugwenyufu bweyongedde mu society, wabeerawo abatakoze mulimu gwe bulungi. Bw'ebanga